Good morning, children. Today we'll learn the grammar part. Take page number 44. I'll send you the answers by WhatsApp. Okay. So second page. Take the right mark for the correct answers. Alexander asked his soldiers to remove the chains of Puru because he was sympathetic to Puru. He did not like a brave man like Puru in chains. Puru requested Alexander to remove his chains. Alexander did not dare see Puru in chains. So, what is correct? B. He did not like a brave man like Puru in chains. So, B. Okay. Now, second one. Puru did not accept Alexander's proposal to be a vassal because he was very proud. He was very brave and patriotic. He was not very wise. He did not have respect for Alexander. So, what is correct answer? B. He was very brave and patriotic. Then, third one. Alexander made friends with Puru because Puru accepted that Alexander was really great. Alexander wanted to make use of Puru's services. Alexander liked Puru's bravery and self-respect. Alexander was very kind. So, which is correct answer? Alexander liked Puru's bravery and self-respect. So, third one is C. Alexander was really great because he defeated Puru. He made friends with a brave king like Puru. He defeated Puru, set him free, respected him, and made friends with him. D. He was the conqueror of the world. So, why is he great? He is great because even though he defeated Puru, he set him free, respected him, and made friends with him. So, C is the correct answer. C. Okay. Now, let's go to the vocabulary. Pick out the antonyms from the text for the words given below. So, you can search for the answers. Okay. Now, antonym means opposite words. Antonym. Synonym means meaning. Synonym and antonym. Antonyms are opposite words. Now, first, victory. Victory. Opposite is, what is opposite of victory? Defeat. Defeat. Then we have timid. Timid means what? Purity. What is opposite of it? Timid? Brave. Brave. Then humble. Humble means vinayam. Opposite of it is proud. Garvam. Proud. Then accept. Accept. Refuse. Refuse or reject. Then dependent. Independent. Okay. Now, fill in the blanks in the following paragraph with the words given in the box. Respect, skillful, proposal, lawful, capture, worthy, amazed, conquered, frightened, remain. రెస్పెక్ట్ అంటే గౌరవించడం, స్కిల్ఫుల్ అంటే నైపుణ్యత, ఓకే, నైపుణ్యం లేకపోతే. ప్రపోజల్ అంటే ఒక విషయాన్ని ఏం చేద్దామని చెప్పి దాన్ని ఏమంటారు, ప్రపోజల్. లాఫుల్ అంటే న్యాయబద్ధమైనటువంటి. క్యాప్చర్ అంటే బందీ చేయడం. వర్ది అంటే దానికి అర్హత, వర్ది అంటే. అమేజ్డ్ అంటే సర్ప్రైజ్డ్, ఆశ్చర్యపోయాడు. కాంకర్ ఓడించడం. ఫ్రైటెండ్ భయపడడం. రిమైన్ అలాగే నిలిచి ఉండడం. ఓకే, నౌ let us read the passage and fill them. I know that you are very dash of the position you hold, but I am really dash to know that you feel as though you have dash the world. These days nobody is being dashed by the other. I would like to make a dash so that you will dash, humble and dash. I hope my words dash your imagination and you dash me as your teacher. Okay, now I know that you are very skillful. First one is skillful. I know that you are very skillful and worthy. Okay, and worthy of the position you hold, but I am really amazed. To know that you feel as though you have conquered. The world. These days nobody is being frightened. By the other. I would like to make a proposal so that you will remain humble and lawful. I hope my words capture your imagination and you respect me as your teacher. Okay, children? Now, grammar. Let's have a look at the following sentences from the text. My kingdom should remain independent. You should treat me as your equal. I must say every Indian soldier fought like a tiger. In sentence 1, should indicates obligation, whereas in 2, it indicates condition. In sentence 3, must is used to indicate insistence on the part of the speaker, necessity. It is also used when the speaker has authority over the listener. it is important to understand how the modals should and must are used. People sometimes use should to indicate something that is desirable and must to indicate obligation. However, some people use them interchangeably. Interchangeably means sometimes they use should, sometimes they use must for each other. Okay, they don't have any different meaning. Okay. Now, read the conversation, page number 46. Now, read the conversation between the doctor and a patient and fill in the blanks with should or should not and must not. Doctor: Mr. Rao, what exactly is your problem? Patient: I've been suffering from a gastric problem for a long time. Doctor: Mr. Rao, I must say, you should not eat non-vegetarian or spicy food for some time. So, doctor says, I must say. First one is must. I must say, you should not. Should not eat non-vegetarian or spicy food for some time. Patient: Can I eat boiled eggs or omelets, doctor? Doctor: Isn't an egg non-vegetarian? You must eat any non-vegetarian food. You must eat. Sorry, you must not. Again, you must not. Okay, you must not eat any non-vegetarian food for quite some time. In fact, you shouldn't. You should have stopped eating it long ago. You should. In fact, you should. Okay. Okay. In fact, you should have stopped eating it long ago. You must consult me in a week. Okay, then must. You must consult me in a week. Patient: I am sorry, doctor. I won't eat non-vegetarian food any longer. You are quite correct, doctor. I must take your advice. Must. I must take your advice and must avoid eating and must. Must avoid eating non-vegetarian and spicy food. Thank you very much, doctor. Doctor: You are welcome. I think you should remember my advice. Should. See here, always should is almost like giving advice. Okay, it is not. It looks like compulsory, but it is always like advice to others. So whenever you say should, okay, you are saying something to practice. Okay, must means compulsory obligation. There is no choice. Okay, when you say should, there is a choice. For example, if you tell me you should study, I can study, or I may study, I may not study. But when you say you must, that means no option. You understand? That's the difference between should and must. Should is only a proposal. Okay? So, other one can choose to do or not to do. But whereas when you say must, there is no other choice. They should do it. Okay? Practice it. Okay? Implement it. Good. Now go to the second bit. Look at the following sentences from the text. but their generals are not so good as ours. Not so good as ours. The Indian generals are not so skillful as the Greek generals. So skillful as, okay? It has been a great battle, perhaps the greatest of my life. The greatest of my life, okay? In the above sentences 1 and 2, the Indian generals are compared with Greek generals. The third sentence means that it was the greatest or the best battle of all is Alexander's battles. When we want to compare one thing with the other, we use degrees of comparison, positive, comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. If we compare two things or two sets of things, we use positive or comparative forms of adjectives. If we compare more than two things or two sets of things, we use the superlative form of adjectives. We can transform positive degree into comparative and superlative and vice versa. So, we use the comparisons, okay? Positive and comparative when we are comparing two, okay? But when it goes more than two, we use a superlative degree, okay? Let us observe the sentences 1 and 2 above. The generals are not so good as ours. Not so good as ours. The Indian generals are not so skillful as the Greek generals. Not so skillful, not so, okay? The underlined words in the above sentences are adjectives. These are the positive forms of adjectives. The other forms of these adjectives are given below. Good, better, best. Skillful, most skillful, and most skillful. The two sentences are said to be in the positive degree since the adjectives are in the positive degree. They can be transformed into comparative degree by changing the adjectives into comparative degree and making certain other changes. Sentences 1 and 2 can be changed into comparative forms as shown below. Our generals are better than their generals. The Greek generals are more skillful than the Indian generals. So here we need to understand how they change the degrees of comparison. First, let us see. First one. Their generals are not so good. Not so good. Good as ours. As ours. See, their generals are not so good as ours. Not so good. That means not so good as. That means what? They are not equal. Okay? Who are better? Ours are better. So that's what we are. This is a positive degree. This is where you use so as or as. It is a positive degree. Now this is changed into comparative. Our generals are better than their generals. See now, we are using better than. This is good. So in the positive degree we use positive word. Here we use comparative. Okay, better than, better, good and better, good and better. So We use also then. We use the word then in the comparative degree. So, their generals are not so good as ours. So, our generals are better than their generals. Okay? Now, we have another sentence. The Indian generals are not so skillful as the Greek generals. So, Greek generals are more skillful than the Indian generals. So, this is how we need to change the degrees of comparison. Okay. Now, look at the third sentence. It is the greatest battle of my life. It is the greatest battle of my life. That means nothing is compared to that. That is the highest. So the above sentence can be turned into the comparative and positive degree as shown below. It is greater than any other battle of my life. It is greater than any other battle of my life. No other battle of my life is so great as this. No other battle of my life is so great as this. So first one is comparative, second one is positive degree, because so great as, so great as, so and as. Okay. Other one is then. When you see in the comparative, we see greater than, then. Okay. Now look at the following sentences in the superlative degree of comparison. Puru is one of the bravest kings in the world. So Puru is one of the bravest kings in the world. This sentence means that there are a few kings in the world who are as brave as Puru. So there are some. So one of the అన్నప్పుడు ఆయనకి ఈక్వల్ గా ఇంకా కొంతమంది ఉన్నారు అర్థం. ఈక్వల్. That's why as brave as. Okay. It also means that Puru is not the only bravest king in the world. Let's see how the above sentence can be transformed into comparative and positive degrees of comparison. Puru is braver than many other or most other kings in the world. So, he is braver than many other or most other kings in the world. That is comparative. Very few kings in the world are as brave as Puru. So, here we need to remember that very few. Okay, very few in the positive and many other or most other in the comparative degree. Okay, observe the following forms of comparison of some adjectives: nice, nicer, nicest; short, shorter, shortest; big, bigger, biggest; great, greater, greatest; fast, faster, fastest; worthy, worthier, worthiest; frightened, more frightened, most frightened; lawful, more lawful, most lawful. Okay,